You ever wonder why certain people are so disciplined and then you may struggle to be disciplined? I'm going to show you today something that's going to help you. It's called the discipline myth. Now, I can tell you for one, I have learned how to be disciplined in certain areas, not so much yet. But here's what I did learn, it's all kind of a myth. The things that I've been known for being disciplined in is studying the word, consistent with creating videos, and the third one would be in working out. Now, this is gonna blow your mind. I don't love working out. I love studying the Bible, depending on which chapter, and I like creating videos because I like helping people understand complex situations. But all of that takes work. It takes work to set up a mic and a camera or a phone. It takes work to take your Bible out and study it, and then it also takes work to get to the gym and actually work out. So how does this work where you actually see success? I remember one day where I was sitting on my bed and I had a Bible across the room where I was at, and I kept contemplating if I should study or not. It was early in the morning, and I kept saying, "Just go do it." I kept putting it off, and then I just said this one day. I said, "Hey, what if I make it so easy not to do it that I just do it?" My goal was to turn it into a habit so that I wouldn't skip it. So what I did was, number one, I removed friction. I would put the Bible on the floor of this room when I left the room so that when I opened the door, it was the first thing I hit. And it was as if I would just grab it and start studying it. That may sound weird, but it just put something up. It should have put a trigger in my head to say, hey, when you open that door, because I only went there in the morning. When you open that door, you're going to hit the Bible. So let's just start studying now. And then I would put a timer on and say, hey, the only thing you have to do and get to do is read for this period of time. At that time, it was 10 minutes. That turned into a habit of legit, a kid you not. I was 17 when I started that. That habit turned into like a 22-year habit. And I refined it. But the first thing I did was I removed friction. So that's the first thing you want to do. How can I remove friction? Like, how can I remove the things that could make it harder for me to do it? So I was like, if I have it there every morning, then I'm gonna do it. Eventually, I would start doing where I would have the Bible on the desk that I would be a room and I would be at a desk, and I would open it to what I wanted to read the next day. So the friction was lower. I would go into the space, I would see it open, and I would start reading. Because before I would be battling, what am I going to read? And that turned into 10 minutes of thinking, and then I grabbed something else to do. So that was the habit for that. The removing friction part for the gym was probably the hardest until I realized you have to think about the steps to get there and how do I make this less steps. So what I used to do was I would shower at night. I put my workout clothes on. I put my phone far away from me so that when I woke up, I had to get up to go get it. And my sneakers was near the phone. So all of those little steps, it helped me stop thinking and turned into all you got to do, Drew, is get up, put your shoes on, and I had the keys by my shoes. Go out the door. So that was removing the friction. The second part, I would say, I wrote it down. Environment shapes your habits. I most people don't have the most people don't believe they're a consistent person enough to only work out at home. So I say go to a gym and see if you can go at the same time all the time. The reason for that is you start to create like gym friends, like people you see there all the time. They're not really your friends, but you see them there, give them the head nod, and you kind of start feeling that if I don't want to show up for them today, for me today, I'm going to show up for them because they're going to be there. So the environment for the gym, I would always say try to get to a gym. If you can't, home workouts can work, but mostly go to a different environment. I would even recommend if you can get into a class where you're there all the time. The environment for me studying the Bible or creating videos, those things I'm known for discipline. My setup now, I made it so that I can set this up in 60 seconds. I always use the same mic. I always leave it right in the same place. My camera is usually charging behind me, and then I put it back up, which takes me seconds because I have a tripod that sits there. And this stuff may sound like it's excessive, but it helps me be consistent and it helps me be disciplined. But it's not because I'm like I've achieved this level of consciousness. It's more so I need to make the next step so easy that I can't fail. The third one is uh, making good choices easier. Discipline is not really so much the feeling of something, it's more so the habit you're building and the steps you're building brick by brick to get somewhere. So, like I said, I don't always feel like working out. I don't always feel like making a video. I don't always feel like reading the Bible. So when those things happen, I just say, hey, how can we do just a little bit? How can we just maybe do 2 minutes, 5 minutes? The next thing you know, I've done the whole thing. A bonus I would say for anybody who's trying to get better with discipline is you want to set up some type of reward system because if you don't reward good behavior, it's gonna stop. So I used to have this habit where when I was first getting to the gym, first learning how to work out, I would put the dollar in a jar every time I worked out. And you can do this with a quarter, a dollar, $5, whatever you want. And at the end of a month, however much I made, I can go buy something with that. And I would buy like a fitness shirt because I wanted to reinforce the habit of working out. I've given that to a bunch of clients and it's worked good. So I say reward your behaviors so that you can keep repeating them. But you don't have to look at discipline as like this all or nothing, go hard, go home type of thing. You can. But for me, it's more so how do I make myself take the next step? And how do I make that next step so clear and so simple that it will be hard for me not to do it? And that's the discipline myth. Be good, guys. Be great.